Good evening, everyone. It is June 27th, 2023. Now, coming into today's session, what was I looking at? Well, I was aware that a reclaim of this 43.85 area would likely end us having us trade up into these 44.20s. I was honestly thinking we'd break that green box up there. Perhaps not today, but I did think that would happen in the coming days, and you know what? Maybe it still does. Now, I was surprised we were not able to get down into these lows, but given that we broke the overnight high first, took that liquidity, it was statistically unlikely for us to break the overnight low at that point. So I did start to lean long, and that is when I took that 43.81 long. Unfortunately, punted it out early in the 95s. I really did not think we'd be able to stretch this far today. Now, NQ, similar story. I was thinking we'd come down more into this kind of 14,800 area. How instead we formed this really clean uptrend during the Globex session. This really nice uptrend, and then reclaimed that prior week's low. Again, that was the first time breaking a prior week's low in 9 weeks. We reclaimed that, and we managed to shoot upwards. I thought we'd be able to take this double top here, I think at 155-ish. We've had 2 RTH sessional highs around here. So that's what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. On the ES, similar story. I'll be looking for us to take this kind of 27 area. That is roughly where the high of the RTH was, and then that Globex high just right below it. So to me, that is just liquidity that wants to be ran. So that is what I'll be looking for coming into tomorrow. Now, we do have JPOW talking right at the open, unfortunately. Again, I don't think it's anything major, but that will be something to maybe watch for the first, 5 to 15 minutes or so. In terms of trading this, how am I looking at it? Well, I want to be long pretty much. I want to see these stops around 43.97. Similar idea on the Nasdaq. I want to see the stops around 15,002. This 15,002 half. If we go down to a 5-minute, I want to see these stops around. And then I want to start looking for longs. Just playing it level by level. Either getting long at 992s, the 95% weekly value area low from last week, or getting long 978s where we had that offer come in after a test of the prior week's low. And really, in all honesty, I don't really want to see us getting much lower than about kind of 969-ish. I've been watching a few too many ICT videos, but essentially you have this little fair value gap, as he would call it, from here to here, 978 to 949, and then we create another one on the way up from here to here. So kind of that 970, 979 having that overlapping fair value gaps, and that is right around the 964 prior week's low, so right over there from that Thursday morning session. So that is, and that is where we caught bids right around here, this 978 to 963. That was the key area for the past couple of weeks, and pretty much this entire balance. So this is where I'm looking to get long on the Nasdaq. Overall, I think we run that 15,002 half stop. Similar story on the ES. That's a 2-hour chart. Here you go, another 2-hour chart. Similar idea. I think we run this 97 area. This spot's been key resistance for the past couple sessions. After that, I'll be looking to get long somewhere around 4,003. What I don't want to see is us getting really below that kind of 43.95 area. Same thing on the Nasdaq. I really don't want to see us getting back outside the prior week's low. Today, the reason I was so ambitious to hit it long was that we had an inside week last week, and we were failing to hold. Shorts were failing to hold outside the prior week's low. So to me, it was indicative of this thing it was going to squeeze upwards. And now what I'm looking for is this overall liquidity to get ran. Really, I want to see us run these highs up here, 238 on the Nasdaq, and really these 43.27 area, and start coming into somewhere around here, this 45 to 47 area on the ES, where we did find that support, and then where we did find offers. So something like this is where I think we're heading to on the ES, and something like this is where I think we're heading to on the Nasdaq. I will be looking to get short somewhere around 213 and 218 on the Nasdaq, and I'll be looking to get short somewhere around these 20s if we do run 27s. That'll be before we get into that back test of 43.90s. But overall, given that it is end of month and end of quarter, I'll be leaning along. In the past, statistically speaking, we usually, once we find Friday's low, we're usually looking at about 100 to 150 point run up on the ES, on the Nasdaq, anywhere from 400 to 800 points really. So what I'll be looking for is if we hold that kind of 43.95, what I'm saying is essentially that we're going to trade new highs of the year around 4,500, and same thing on the Nasdaq. If we hold this kind of, I don't know, call it 15K-ish, I'll be looking for about 15,500. So again, new highs on the year going into that end of month, end of quarter, end of half. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. That's all I have. Probably be an update to this by the morning. I'm sure we're going to have some movement here given by even this pre-London action so far. So we'll see how that goes. Have a great night. Trade safe.